The massive screens in Earth's Defense Command Center turned dark for a moment before displaying the faces of 7 alien representatives. Their expressions, though different across species, all shared the same cold, dismissive look. Captain James Miller stood at attention, his weathered face betraying no emotion as the Galactic Council prepared to deliver their judgment. "The Council has reached its decision," announced the lead speaker, a tall being with silvery skin. "Earth will be placed under quarantine, effective immediately. This measure is for the protection of your developing species." Miller's fingers tightened behind his back, but he maintained his calm expression. 6 months of monitoring unauthorized Council activities in Earth's orbit had prepared him for this moment. The lies flowed smooth as silk from the alien politicians. In the observation room behind him, Dr. Anna Wells worked quietly at her station, recording every fluctuation in the quantum energy signatures coming from the Council's so-called observation satellites. Her instruments had detected their true purpose weeks ago. They were mining drones, disguised to look like peaceful monitoring equipment. "Earth accepts the Council's decision," Miller responded, his voice steady. "We understand this is for our own protection." The Council representatives nodded, satisfied with humanity's apparent submission. They didn't notice the slight smile that flickered across Miller's face as the transmission ended. As soon as the screens went dark, the command center burst into activity. Miller turned to face the room filled with Earth's top military and scientific leaders. "They took the bait," he announced. "They think we're just going to roll over and accept their protection." Dr. Wells stepped forward, her tablet displaying complex energy readings. "The mining drones are exactly what we suspected. They're equipped with quantum crystal extractors. The Council's trying to steal Earth's largest natural resource right from under our noses." General Thompson, a broad-shouldered man with gray hair, pulled up a global map showing hundreds of red dots. "These are all the quantum crystal deposits they don't think we know about. Their surveys missed our shielded facilities here, and here." He pointed to several locations marked in blue. "How long before they start full mining operations?" Miller asked. "Based on their current deployment pattern, 2 months at most," Dr. Wells replied. "They're being cautious, trying not to alarm the primitive humans." The sarcasm in her voice was clear. Miller walked to the central display, bringing up images of Earth's hidden fleet. Deep underground and underwater bases housed ships that would make the Council's eyes widen if they knew they existed. Humanity had been preparing for this moment ever since they detected the first Council scout ships 3 years ago. "What about the new quantum drives?" Miller asked, turning to Dr. Wells. She smiled, pulling up technical specifications on a side screen. "Better than theirs. We've had years to study the natural formations. While they were busy looking down on us, we learned things about quantum crystal manipulation they haven't even imagined." The room fell quiet as Admiral White entered. His presence commanded attention without effort. "The President has given the go-ahead for Operation Silent Watch," he announced. "We play along. We act humble. We let them think they've won." Miller nodded, understanding the strategy. "And we keep building." "Exactly," White confirmed. "Every mining drone they send gives us more of their technology to study. Every condescending message teaches us more about their communications. Every observation satellite shows us more about their weapons." Dr. Wells raised her hand slightly. "The new stealth systems are ready. We can move our ships without detection using their own sensor blind spots against them." Miller looked around the room, seeing determination in every face. The Council thought they were dealing with a simple, primitive species that would accept their fate quietly. They had no idea that humans had been analyzing their every move, preparing countermeasures, and building weapons that would make their best technology look obsolete. "How long do we wait?" someone asked from the back of the room. Admiral White's expression was grim but satisfied. "As long as it takes, we gather evidence of their crimes. We build our strength, and when the time comes, we'll show them exactly how primitive we aren't." The meeting continued late into the night as Earth's defenders planned their response to the Council's betrayal. In orbit, the alien mining drones continued their subtle work, their masters unaware that every moment of their deception was being recorded, analyzed, and prepared as evidence for the day of reckoning that would come. The Council had made a fatal mistake. They had judged humanity by their apparent technology level, not by their potential. They would learn, too late, that humans were masters of adaptation, deception, and revenge. The trap was set. Now they just had to wait for the Council to walk right into it. 3 months after the Council's quarantine announcement, the underground facilities beneath the Pacific Ocean buzzed with activity. Dr. Wells stood in front of a massive window, watching as robotic arms assembled another quantum-powered warship. The vessel's dark hull absorbed light like a black hole, making it nearly invisible even at close range. "Beautiful, isn't it?" Miller asked, stepping up beside her. "Hard to believe we built 30 of these in just 3 months." Dr. Wells nodded, her eyes fixed on the construction process. "The Council's mining drones gave us everything we needed. Their arrogance made them sloppy." She tapped her tablet, bringing up the latest test results. "Each crystal they extract helps us perfect our weapons." Deep in the facility, hundreds of engineers and scientists worked around the clock. The Council thought their quarantine would weaken Earth. Instead, it had united humanity like never before. Old enemies became allies, sharing resources and knowledge in secret preparations for the coming battle. "How are the shield tests going?" Miller asked, walking with Dr. Wells through the busy corridors. She smiled, leading him to a testing chamber. Inside, a small cube of quantum crystal pulsed with blue light. "Watch this," she said, pressing a button. A Council weapon salvaged from a broken mining drone fired at the cube. The beam hit the crystal and simply disappeared. "Perfect absorption," Miller whispered, understanding the implications. "Their weapons are useless against our ships," Dr. Wells finished. "The crystals don't just block their attacks. They absorb the energy and make our shields stronger." In another section of the facility, Admiral White supervised combat training. Earth's best pilots learned to handle the new ships in massive simulators. The technology was beyond anything humanity had possessed before the Council's arrival, but human adaptability proved greater than anyone expected. "Faster," White commanded, watching a simulation run. "The Council's ships are predictable. They rely too much on their targeting computers. Use that against them." The pilot, a young woman named Lisa, twisted her ship through an impossible series of maneuvers. On her screen, simulated Council vessels exploded one after another, unable to track her movements. "Their scanning technology can't handle quantum fluctuations," Lisa explained, climbing out of the simulator. "We can hide in their blind spots all day long." Above ground, Earth maintained its appearance of submission. Council observers watched humans go about their daily lives, never suspecting that beneath their feet, a revolution in military technology was taking place. At a Council monitoring station in orbit, an alien observer made his routine report. The humans continue their primitive activities. No sign of advanced technology development. The quarantine appears to be working as intended. The observer never noticed the tiny quantum distortions around his station. He couldn't detect the invisible Earth ships that regularly practiced combat maneuvers right under his nose. The Council's sensors, designed to detect normal engine signatures, were blind to Earth's new technology. Back in the underground facility, Miller met with the Joint Military Command. The room's walls displayed real-time information about every Council ship and station near Earth. "Their mining operations have increased by 40%. General Thompson reported. "They're getting greedy. Careless." "Good," Miller responded. "The more drones they send, the more technology we can study. How many ships do we have ready?" A holographic display showed Earth's hidden fleet. Dozens of black ships waited in underwater bases and secret mountain hangars. Each vessel carried weapons that could tear through Council shields like paper. 50 combat-ready ships, Dr. Wells reported. Another 30 in final assembly. The crystal farms are producing faster than the Council can mine them. We're actually ahead of schedule. Miller studied the fleet display. The ships looked nothing like traditional human vessels or Council designs. They were something entirely new, a perfect blend of stolen alien technology and human innovation. And the Council suspects nothing. Admiral White asked. Dr. Wells brought up the latest intelligence reports. They think we're still trying to figure out basic spaceflight. Their last report called us charmingly primitive. The room filled with quiet laughter. Soon, the Council would learn just how wrong they were. But not yet. For now, Earth would continue its silent preparation, building strength in secret, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Keep working, Miller ordered. Every day they underestimate us is another day we grow stronger, when we finally show them what humanity can do. He let the sentence hang unfinished. Everyone in the room knew how it would end. The Council's arrogance had sealed their fate. They just didn't know it yet. The Council mining fleet arrived at dawn. 50 massive ships descended through Earth's atmosphere, their holds empty and ready to be filled with stolen quantum crystals. On the ground, human cities appeared quiet and peaceful. Normal. Exactly what the Council expected. In his command center deep underwater, Captain Miller watched the alien ships through quantum-enhanced sensors. They really brought their whole mining fleet, he said, a cold smile forming on his face, just like we predicted. All ships in position, Admiral White confirmed. Earth's black vessels lay hidden in the ocean depths, powered down but ready, waiting for your signal. Miller looked at Dr. Wells. She nodded, her finger hovering over a control panel. EMP devices are ready, modified with Council technology. They won't know what hit them. The mining fleet spread out over Earth's largest crystal deposits. Their sensors, designed to ignore primitive human technology, failed to detect the threats waiting below. Miller took a deep breath. 6 months of waiting, planning, preparing. Now it was time. Begin Operation Thunderstrike, he ordered. Dr. Wells pressed her button. Across the globe, hidden EMP devices activated. But these weren't normal electromagnetic pulses. Earth scientists had modified them using quantum technology stolen from the Council's own mining drones. The effect was instant and devastating. Council ships froze in midair, their systems overloaded by the unexpected attack. Emergency lights flashed across their hulls as they tried to restore power. Fleet Command, launch now, Miller ordered. The ocean's surface exploded as Earth's black ships burst from their hiding places. They moved like shadows, their quantum-powered engines silent and invisible to Council sensors. The alien mining fleet, still struggling with the EMP attack, never saw them coming. All ships, weapons free, Admiral White commanded. Show them what humanity can do. The first volley of quantum torpedoes struck with surgical precision. Council shields, useless against Earth's weapons, collapsed instantly. Mining ships began falling from the sky, their crews scrambling for escape pods. In orbit, the Council observation stations finally noticed something was wrong. Their emergency signals were met with more surprises. Earth ships appeared from behind mountains, from underground bases, from clouds where they'd been hiding in plain sight. They're trying to call for help, Dr. Wells reported, monitoring Council communications. But our quantum interference is blocking their signals. The space around Earth lit up with explosions as more Council ships fell to Earth's surprise attack. Some tried to fight back, but their weapons were absorbed harmlessly by Earth's quantum shields, making their destroyers even stronger. Incoming transmission, a communication officer announced. The Council Fleet Commander wants to surrender. Miller nodded. Put him through. The main screen showed an alien face twisted with shock and fear. How is this possible? You're supposed to be primitive. Surprise, Miller replied calmly. Next time, think twice before trying to steal from Earth. Within an hour, it was over. The entire Council mining fleet either destroyed or captured. Earth's ships secured orbit, their black hulls now visible as a warning to any who might think of retaliating. In the command center, Dr. Wells brought up the battle statistics. 47 Council ships destroyed, 3 captured intact. No casualties on our side. Their quantum shields couldn't handle their own technology being used against them. Send the message, Admiral White ordered. Across all Council communication channels, Earth broadcast its evidence. Videos showed Council ships secretly mining Earth's resources. Documents proved their lies about the quarantine. The truth spread faster than the Council could contain it. They're panicking, Dr. Wells reported, monitoring Council communications. Other species are demanding explanations. The Council chamber is in chaos. Miller watched the screens with satisfaction. Send in the diplomatic fleet. It's time to show them we can do more than just fight. Earth's ships, no longer hiding their presence, formed up in orbit. Their message was clear. Humanity would no longer be underestimated. Sir, a sensor operator called out. Long-range sensors detect Council warships jumping into the system. Let them come, Miller said confidently. Our real fleet is still hidden. If they want to learn another lesson about human ingenuity, we'll be happy to teach them. The first battle was over. Earth had won decisively, but everyone knew this was just the beginning. The Council would respond, and humanity was ready for them. In orbit, Earth's black ships waited silently, their quantum weapons charged, ready to defend their home against any who dared threaten it again. The Council's emergency chamber erupted in chaos. Hundreds of alien representatives shouted over each other, their voices filled with fear and anger. On the massive central screen, images of their destroyed mining fleet played on repeat, a humiliating reminder of their failure. Impossible, shouted the Council leader, his scaled face turning dark with rage. How could primitive humans defeat our best ships? In the shadows of the chamber, Robert Gray, Earth's deep cover agent, watched silently. For 3 years, he had posed as a Council military advisor, feeding Earth vital information. Now he would ensure their response failed completely. We must strike back immediately, demanded the military commander. Send in the main battle fleet. Gray stepped forward, his disguise perfect after years of preparation. With respect, Commander, rushing in would be unwise. The humans clearly have weapons we don't understand. The Council's main fleet assembled at the jump point, 500 warships strong. They thought this would be enough to crush Earth's resistance. They were wrong. Back on Earth, Miller and his team tracked the Council fleet's movements. Dr. Wells worked at her station, monitoring the quantum sensor network they had secretly built throughout the solar system. They're coming in exactly where we predicted, she reported. The Council's battle tactics are as rigid as their thinking. Admiral White smiled. Launch Operation Ghost Fleet. Across the solar system, hidden quantum sensors activated. Earth's real fleet, not the small force they had revealed, but hundreds of advanced warships, powered up. They had been hiding in plain sight, using the quantum crystals to bend light around them. The Council fleet jumped into the solar system, weapons charged. Their sensors showed Earth's small defensive fleet near the planet. They didn't detect the 300 black ships surrounding them until it was too late. All ships, spring the trap, Miller ordered. Earth's ghost fleet decloaked simultaneously. Council ships found themselves surrounded, caught in a massive spherical formation that left no escape route. In the Council chamber, alerts blared as reports of the ambush came in. Gray watched with hidden satisfaction as the alien leaders panicked. How many ships do they have? Screamed the military commander. Our sensors showed only 50. Apparently, Gray said calmly, we underestimated them. Again. The battle was brief but spectacular. Earth's quantum weapons tore through Council shields like paper. Their ships, designed to absorb enemy fire, grew stronger with each Council attack. Escape pods littered space as alien crews abandoned their doomed vessels. Dr. Wells monitored the battle from Earth. Council ships are dropping like flies. Their weapons can't penetrate our quantum shields. And their tactics. She paused, shaking her head. They keep trying the same failed strategies. That's what happens when you rely too much on computers and rigid battle plans, Miller replied. They never learn to adapt. In the council chamber, Gray watched the disaster unfold on the main screen. The council's mighty fleet was being systematically destroyed by the very species they had dismissed as primitive. We should negotiate, Gray suggested, his voice carrying artificial concern. Before we lose everything. Negotiate. With primitives. The council leader sputtered. Those primitives just destroyed most of our fleet, Gray reminded them. Perhaps it's time to reconsider our definition of primitive. On Earth's command ships, Admiral White watched as the last council vessels either surrendered or fled. The solar system belonged to Earth now. Send the message, he ordered. Every communication channel in council space lit up with a broadcast from Earth. The evidence of the council's deception played alongside images of their defeat. The message was clear. Humanity would no longer tolerate being treated as inferior. Sir, a communications officer called out. We're getting responses from other species. Many are congratulating us. Apparently, we're not the only ones the council tried to exploit. Miller nodded. This was exactly what they had hoped for. Begin Phase 2. He ordered. It's time to reshape the galaxy. In the council chamber, chaos turned to panic as more reports arrived. Other species were withdrawing from council authority. The carefully built hierarchy of power was crumbling. Gray slipped away during the confusion, his mission complete. Earth had not just defeated the council's fleet, they had shattered their reputation and authority. As escape pods from the battle drifted through space, their occupants watched Earth's ships patrol the solar system. The black vessels moved like silent guardians, a warning to any who might think of challenging humanity again. The Council had started this conflict expecting an easy victory over primitives. Instead, they had awakened a sleeping giant, and their galaxy would never be the same. The Grand Council chamber looked different now. Half the seats stood empty, their former occupants having fled after Earth's victory. General Mary Cooper walked down the central aisle, her footsteps echoing in the tense silence. As Earth's chief diplomat, she carried humanity's demands. The remaining council members watched her with a mixture of fear and hatred. Just 1 week ago, they would have dismissed her as a primitive. Now they couldn't ignore the fleet of black ships visible through the chamber's massive windows. Representatives of the Galactic Council, Cooper began, her voice strong and clear. I bring terms from Earth. Behind her, Robert Gray, now revealed as a human agent, took his place among Earth's delegation. His perfect disguise had fooled the Council for years. Now, his true identity added to their humiliation. Terms. The Council leader sputtered. You dare to dictate terms to us? Cooper smiled. With a gesture, she activated the chamber's main display. Videos began playing, hundreds of them, showing council ships secretly mining resources from dozens of worlds. We're not the only ones you tried to cheat, Cooper said, just the first ones to fight back. The chamber erupted in shouts as representatives from younger species recognized their worlds in the footage. Earth hadn't just gathered evidence of crimes against humanity. They had documented the Council's exploitation of many developing civilizations. Impossible, shouted a council member. How did you get these records? We had help, Cooper replied, nodding to the shadows where more disguised human agents revealed themselves. Turns out humans are very good at blending in. In Earth's command center, Miller and Dr. Wells watched the broadcast. Quantum communicators carried the signal across the galaxy, ensuring no world missed this historic moment. Phase 2 is working perfectly, Dr. Wells reported. We're getting responses from 17 species already. They all want to join our alliance. Miller nodded. The Council's biggest mistake wasn't attacking us. It was making so many enemies. Back in the chamber, Cooper laid out Earth's demands. First, immediate recognition of Earth as a full Council member with equal voting rights. Second, complete withdrawal of all Council mining operations from developing worlds. Third, reparations for all stolen resources. You cannot, the Council leader began. We can, and we will, Cooper interrupted. She gestured to the windows where Earth's fleet hung in space. Would you like another demonstration of what we can do? The younger Council species began speaking up, emboldened by Earth's success. Many had suffered similar exploitation. Now they sought a chance for justice. Earth's terms are reasonable, declared the representative from a newer spacefaring race. We support their demands. Others quickly joined in. The Council's power base crumbled as more species sided with Earth. Their carefully maintained hierarchy of power collapsed in mere hours. In orbit, Admiral White directed Earth's fleet in a complex dance. Ships jumped between systems, appearing over different Council worlds in carefully choreographed displays of force. The message was clear. Resistance was futile. Sir, a communications officer called to Miller. The Outer Rim worlds are declaring independence from Council control. They're requesting Earth's protection. This was exactly what they had planned. The Council's empire had been built on lies and exploitation. Once exposed, it couldn't stand. Cooper continued her address. Earth proposes a new galactic alliance, one based on equality and mutual respect, not domination and theft. She activated another display, showing plans for trade routes, cultural exchanges, and technological cooperation. Where the Council had hoarded knowledge, Earth offered to share it. Your choice is simple, Cooper declared. Join us as equals, or face obsolescence. The Council leader slumped in his chair, defeated. Centuries of absolute power vanished in days, undone by a species they had dismissed as primitive. In Earth's command center, Miller watched the Council crumble. Send the signal, he ordered. Begin Phase 3. Across the galaxy, more Earth ships decloaked, revealing humanity's true power. They had hidden their strength until the perfect moment. And now the galaxy would never be the same. The Council made one fundamental mistake, Dr. Wells observed, watching the proceedings. They thought technology alone made a species advanced. They forgot about things like courage, creativity, and justice. As the old order collapsed, Earth stood ready to help build something better. The revolution they had started would reshape the galaxy, transforming it from an empire of exploitation into a true community of worlds. The Council's reign was ending. Humanity's era was about to begin. The Council's central city burned, not from weapons or warfare, but from riots. Millions of angry citizens filled the streets, demanding justice after learning how their leaders had lied to them for centuries. From her office in the newly established Earth Embassy, General Cooper watched the chaos unfold. Massive screens showed similar scenes playing out on dozens of Council worlds. The mighty empire was tearing itself apart from within. Another Council member has requested protection, reported her aide. Their people turned against them after seeing the evidence. Cooper nodded. Earth's strategy had worked perfectly. They hadn't just defeated the Council militarily. They had destroyed its reputation. In orbit, Earth's black ships maintained order, preventing the riots from turning deadly. Their presence served as both protection and warning. The quantum-powered vessels now patrolled all major Council systems, a task unthinkable just weeks ago. Back on Earth, Miller and Dr. Wells supervised the next phase of their plan. The underground facility had been transformed into a teaching center, where representatives from other species learned about quantum technology. The Council kept this knowledge from everyone. Dr. Wells explained to a group of alien scientists. They claimed quantum crystals were too dangerous for developing worlds. In reality, they just wanted to maintain their power. Miller watched from the observation deck as Dr. Wells demonstrated Earth's advances. The alien scientists gasped as she activated a miniature quantum shield, their instruments unable to detect its power source. How many species have joined our technical exchange program? He asked his assistant. 23 so far, came the reply. Most of them were victims of council exploitation. They're eager to learn. On the council homeworld, more leaders fell from power. Robert Gray, now operating openly as Earth's intelligence chief, coordinated with local authorities to arrest those responsible for centuries of deception. We found their secret archives. Gray reported to Miller via quantum communicator. The corruption went deeper than we imagined. They've been suppressing technological advancement across the galaxy for over 1,000 years. The evidence sparked fresh outrage. Species that had remained neutral now demanded justice. The Council's carefully maintained hierarchy collapsed like a house of cards. Dr. Wells' team made another breakthrough that afternoon. They had perfected a new form of quantum propulsion, one that made even Earth's advanced ships look slow. "We'll share this with our allies," she declared. "Unlike the Council, we understand that progress comes from cooperation, not control." In the Council's former military headquarters, Admiral White oversaw the integration of surrendered Council forces into the new peacekeeping fleet. Many alien officers, freed from corrupt leadership, proved eager to serve under Earth's command. "Your ships are impressive," a former Council commander admitted, studying the quantum drives. "But your tactics, the way you think outside traditional patterns, that's what really defeated us." Miller received urgent news from the frontier regions. The last holdouts of Council loyalty had surrendered. Their populations, seeing the evidence of corruption and the promise of Earth's new alliance, had given them no choice. "The Council representatives are ready for trial," Cooper reported via Quantum Link. "We've established an international tribunal with judges from 12 different species." Earth had insisted on fair trials, despite calls for revenge. They wanted justice, not vengeance. It was this commitment to fairness that earned them respect from across the galaxy. Dr. Wells presented her latest findings to Miller. "The Council was wrong about everything," she explained. "Quantum crystals aren't just for weapons or power. They can heal planets, clean atmospheres, even help terraform worlds. They kept this knowledge hidden to maintain control. In the newly established Galactic Assembly, formerly oppressed species took their places as equals. Earth's victory had given them all a chance at true independence." The Council's biggest mistake, Miller observed, watching the Assembly proceedings, was thinking that keeping others down would lift them up. They never understood that real strength comes from helping others rise. As night fell on the former Council capital, the riots finally ceased. In their place, people gathered in peace, watching Earth's ships patrol the skies. The black vessels no longer brought fear, but hope. The old order had fallen. From its ashes, something new and better would rise. Earth had not just won a war, they had changed the galaxy forever. And this was only the beginning. 1 year after the Council's fall, Earth had transformed from an isolated world to the heart of a new galactic civilization. The massive space station, Unity, orbited Earth, its quantum crystal core glowing with blue light. Representatives from over 50 species gathered in its Grand Assembly Hall. Captain Miller, now Admiral Miller, stood at the podium. Behind him, the station's massive windows showed hundreds of ships from different worlds moving peacefully through space. Earth's black vessels patrolled among them, no longer weapons of war, but guardians of peace. 1 year ago, Miller began, we faced a choice. We could have used our victory for revenge. Instead, we chose a different path. Dr. Wells sat in the front row, her tablet displaying the latest achievements of the combined scientific council. Under Earth's leadership, species that once competed now worked together. Quantum technology had advanced more in 1 year than in the previous century. Our latest breakthrough, she whispered to General Cooper, can terraform dead worlds in months instead of centuries. The Council kept this hidden for generations. The former Council leaders watched the ceremony from their prison cells. Their trials had revealed centuries of crimes, suppressed technologies, stolen resources, and countless worlds held back from their true potential. Justice had been swift but fair. Today, Miller continued, we celebrate not just our victory, but our unity. The quantum technology that the Council ordered now powers schools, hospitals, and clean energy plants across 100 worlds. Robert Gray, Earth's master spy turned diplomatic advisor, smiled from his seat. The intelligence network he had built now served to prevent conflicts before they began. Understanding had replaced suspicion. The Council's biggest fear, he commented to Cooper, was that other species would surpass them. They never realized that lifting others up would lift everyone higher. In orbit around Earth, the new Galactic Defense Fleet trained together. Ships of all designs and origins flew in formation, their crews learning from each other. Earth's quantum advances had been shared freely, but human creativity and tactical thinking proved just as valuable. "Look at their formation," Admiral White pointed out to a group of alien officers. "Each ship covers the other's blind spots. Different species, different technologies, all working as one." Down on Earth, the underground facility where they had once built weapons in secret had become the galaxy's premier learning center. Students from across space studied everything from quantum physics to human history. Dr. Wells led a tour through the labs. The Council thought power came from keeping others weak. She explained to her students, "We proved that real strength comes from helping others grow strong." Miller activated a holographic display showing the new trade routes that connected formerly isolated worlds. The quantum crystal network Earth had designed allowed instant communication across vast distances. Ideas and cultures flowed freely where once there had been only barriers. "Our revenge against the Council," Miller declared to the assembly, "wasn't just defeating them. It was building something better than they could imagine." The gathered representatives cheered. Many remembered how their worlds had suffered under Council rule. Now they sat as equals in humanity's new alliance. "The final Council outposts have requested membership in our alliance," Cooper reported. "They've seen how their neighbors have prospered under the new system." Earth's quantum ships still patrolled the galaxy, but their role had changed. They responded to natural disasters, protected trade routes, and helped developing worlds. The weapons that had won the war now powered tools of peace. "We didn't just change the galaxy's power structure," Miller concluded his speech. "We changed how power itself works in our galaxy." As if to emphasize his words, a new quantum ship launched from Earth's shipyards. Its crew included members of 12 different species. Its mission was exploration, not conquest. The Council had feared the unknown. Humanity embraced it. The assembly erupted in applause as Miller stepped down. Earth had promised revenge against the Council, but delivered something far more powerful: hope. In the station's observation deck, Dr. Wells watched Earth rotate below. "You know what the Council never understood about humans?" she asked Miller as he joined her. "What's that?" "That our greatest weapon wasn't our technology or our tactics," she smiled. "It was our ability to imagine a better future and make it real." The galaxy had learned a valuable lesson. Never underestimate humans, not because of their weapons or their anger, but because of their capacity to turn enemies into friends and build greatness from the ashes of defeat. The Council's age of darkness had ended. Humanity's age of light had begun.